Over the weekend, there was controversy over whether Donald Trump is taking it all seriously. Not specifically just the coronavirus, but the fact that he is president. Is he actually engaged in his job? Is he working? And he lost it when a New York Times report implied that perhaps he is not. So I want to read you just a few excerpts from it, and then we'll give you his reaction. The report said, President Trump arrives in the Oval Office these days as late as noon, when he is usually in a sour mood after his morning marathon of television. He's been up in the White House master bedroom as early as 5 a.m. watching Fox News, then CNN, with a dollop of MSNBC thrown in for rage viewing. Although it seems like the CNN stuff would probably also be rage viewing. He's angry even with Fox, an old security blanket, for not portraying him as he would like to be seen. And he makes time to watch Governor Andrew Cuomo's briefings from New York, closely monitoring for a sporadic compliment or snipe. So look, I get that if Cuomo praises him, he's going to want to see that. That's good. Wanting to be praised when you're an incredibly vain person, I understand. But think about spending your morning so focused on the news. But even if you're going to be focused on the news, to be focused on the news specifically to try to see who's being mean to you, to see who's insulting you. And the thing is, like, it's not like I don't sort of understand the inclination. I'm in a much worse mood when I go live on the Damage Report if I've spent a lot of time on Twitter that morning, but I'm an idiot and it ain't 7 hours. Some pretty significant differences. I'm also not president, by the way. That's 3 important differences right there. But he is waking up, Francesca, spending, let's say, 3 to 7 hours watching cable news, getting into his little, like, impotent rage mode, and then doing the press conference. And importantly, a lot of sources are saying that he no longer takes part in the briefings before the press conference. It's one of the reasons why he's saying crazy things when he finally gets there. But this is apparently the mode he's in. He's spending his days, once again, eating food in bed, watching cable news for literally hours, morning, noon, and night. And by the way, during the worst pandemic that has hit the United States in some time.
I mean, like, the presidency was such a moment for him to just, like, come into his own and, like, live his, just like, be his best self, you know what I mean? Just, like, put up a photo of Barack Obama and be like, oh my God, what if, And he's failed at every single moment. Like, if I were his therapist, I would be like, sir, you're the president, once again. So I just feel like he's just not living his best life. And if only he could, then maybe Americans could literally just live in general, But I also am like, I don't ever want to imagine Donald Trump in the morning outside of his, like, slithering into that suit and, like, putting on his little, like, heels that he does where he, like, tilts forward and he looks less disgustingly huge as he is. Like, just imagine, like, a crumpled little, like, sheet in between Trump's, like, pasty pink legs as he's watching.
God. No, stop. No more. Okay. Look, the reason that this matters is because supposedly, if you listen to the people who are closest to him, his focus is on how his performance on the virus is measured in the news media and the extent to which history will blame him. And the thing is, that is baked in. We're not going to be able to change that. But what I keep trying to say, we were just talking about it, is, and he's never going to watch this, I understand that, but he could actually do the right thing. And that would be good for obvious reasons. It would save lives. But also, it would protect his reputation. It would stop history from blaming him more. If you didn't do the bad thing, history wouldn't be able to blame you. You wouldn't be getting bad reviews if you were doing a good job. And I wish that we could, like, turn that vain obsession that he has with himself in a positive direction that could be used to cause him to just be driven all day to make sure that we're nailing this thing, that we're doing all that we can. And maybe it's not too late to go in that direction. We've hit 55,000 deaths. Let's not hit 100,000. How about that? How about let's get him to take it seriously? And maybe if he spends a little bit less time chasing cameras and a little bit more time talking to his experts and following their advice, he can succeed both substantively and in terms of the optics.
Obviously you're right, John. John for president. This is the best part about Trumpism and just MAGA ghouls. The idea that they think that Trump is like their alpha male and he's so strong and everyone else is like a beta cuck. Like, fool, you're talking about the most insecure, not just president, but probably person that any of us have ever encountered in our lives. Like, his insecurity is plastered everywhere. Every day he stands behind a podium and just says how small his hands are, how tiny the thing in his pants are, and how insecure he is about it all the time. Like, that's all he does.
It comes through.
He is the ultimate beta cuck. Like, Trump is the least alpha ever. Like, I mean, I don't want to, like, traffic in those terms.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're going to, he's super insecure, and it's very, very clear.
Yeah. I've been sort of threatening to write a book laying out how fake conservative masculinity is for a long time.
Yeah.
Let's write it together. Come on.
Oh my God, I'd love
Right wingers or beta cucks. That's a title that'll move copies. Come on.
I mean, you've got to couch it in some kind of pickup artistry, though, John.
Well, I would end up doing that even if I tried not to. So look, I want to give him a chance to respond. He says, I work from early in the morning until late at night. Haven't left the White House in many months, except to launch Hospital Ship Comfort in order to take care of trade deals, military rebuilding. And then I read a phony story in the failing New York Times, always failing. It's taking years to fail though, about my work, schedule, and eating habits, written by a third-rate reporter who knows nothing about me. I will often be in the Oval Office late into the night and read and see that I am angrily eating a hamburger and Diet Coke in my bedroom. People with me are always stunned, anything to demean. Imagine if Obama had tweeted about the allegation that he was eating a hamburger. By the way, that's the second version of the tweet. The first had to be replaced because he once again spelled hamburger wrong. And anyway, and it's not the reporter that's saying it, it's the source. It's like, check the people around you if you don't want them to know that. And it's also filled with lies. Like, I haven't left the White House in many months. Yeah, except for the many golfing trips and the many rallies you did, literally in public. They were televised. The trip to India you took just a couple of months ago. The many trips to Mar-a-Lago where you ran events that were very public. All of these things, just constant lies. And he's lashing out because he's mad. Some people, when they're criticized in this way, will then overcompensate to try to ward off future criticism. Please go in that direction. Actually work. Or, either work hard or get out of the way. And just put Fauci in charge of it and give him actual power. Make him a czar or whatever. Like, replace Mike Pence, who doesn't know what he's talking about, with someone who actually seems to care about saving American lives.
I mean, absolutely. And yet we've seen time and time again that anyone who tries to steal the disgusting spotlight that spews down on Donald Trump, they get axed. Like, you can't steal his spotlight. He never wanted this, and yet if someone else tries to commandeer it, he will absolutely fire that person.
That's sort of my fear. This might seem weird, but so I don't know if you saw over the weekend, but Brad Pitt played Dr. Fauci in like a sketch on SNL or whatever. And when I saw that, I thought, I get that, like, it's funny because Fauci said he wants Brad Pitt to play him, and Brad Pitt seems to like Fauci, and so he wants to play him and give him compliments or whatever. But, like, is there any individual thing that could be done that raises the odds that Fauci gets fired than Brad Pitt playing him on TV and Trump hearing about it? That seems like the sort of thing that would result in the serious doctor getting fired, which would certainly be unfortunate.
But I would love to see that. Like, if Bruce Willis comes on, I mean, I feel like he's a little bit of a right winger too, and just
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Just to play Trump, to be like, you're a tough guy too,
Maybe balance it out. By the way, there was another response from the White House. White House officials say Trump works so hard he often misses lunch. Yeah. So in the couple of hours after that story went live with that quote, he started binge retweeting. He retweeted 30 different accounts, including things like a deep fake of Joe Biden. He retweeted a conspiracy theorist who was saying that the death count was being artificially elevated. So he's working. Like clicking the retweet button, like that's, if you're old and you have old joints, that's kind of work, but that's what he's doing. And he is, by the way, so we predicted this weeks ago. No, he's now joined the death count is fake. You shouldn't actually pay attention to it.
It's not funny. I wish it were funny. I am trying to make light of it, but I don't want it to be funny anymore. I am a stand-up comic. Mm-hmm. I talk about Trump on stage, or I used to before we were all, consigned to our homes.
Yeah.
And now I'm a famous Zoom comic, open for Fred Armisen.
That is awesome, by the way.
Okay, I didn't really. I just went up before him. The point is this:
That's what
I
opening
don't
is.
want Trump. Nobody wants to make fun of this guy anymore. He's a walking satire. You can't make this stuff up at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm ready for it to not be. You know what I want? I want politics to be funny by Francesca being funny and Ida being funny and Alonzo being funny. And I'm good with that. Don't need Trump. Don't need the president to be funny. Let's have serious, responsible people in positions of power and then comics that mock them. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like that. We're not supposed to be mocked by the president. He's not supposed to steal our joke. He's like the guy reading out your punchline in like yelling it out in the club before you even get there.
For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.